Hello, everyone. Thanks so much for joining us. I'm Sophia with Garden State Film Festival, and it is the 21st anniversary of Garden State Film Festival. Over 230 films from around the world, and we are here talking about the feature film Not for Nothing. Here to talk to us about it is Tim Dowling, one of the directors and writers. Tim, thanks so much for taking the time out to talk to me today, and congratulations.
Hello, thank you so much. Thank you. We're so excited to be a part of the Garden State Film Festival.
Me too. I'm so happy that I got to see this film and I'm have the honor of interviewing you today. For everyone who hasn't seen it yet, but hopefully will see it, can you tell everyone a little bit about Not for Nothing?
Absolutely. So, Not for Nothing is an urban crime drama. It's written in present day. We made it. We joke about it being a period piece because we wrote it specifically for 2019, so it's pre-COVID. Um, and it's a South Philadelphia tale of a group of friends that hang out at a bar, and they sort of go through an identity crisis about the changing of Philly and the neighborhood, and some of them are loosely connected to the old mafia from the 90s, and what does that mean, and we explore like if there really still is an Italian mob in Philly or not, and if so, how influential or powerful they are. And then we have a tragic story of an overdose due to fentanyl, which is a really important issue to all of us nationwide, but it's a big deal in Philadelphia that we wanted to bring awareness and attention to. And then the guys kind of rally around that and go on a bit of a detective slash revenge mission to figure out who's responsible for that.
Wow, what a plot and what a film. I mean, I really loved the way you guys filmed this and how like raw and organic it is, all with having such a great story like you just explained. So congratulations to you and everyone involved. I want to talk about the inspiration for behind this story. You co-wrote this with Frank Tartaglia, and we
Hmm.
spoke a little bit before about him. If you want to mention any of that and the inspiration for
Yeah.
writing.
So my dear friend and creative partner on this project, Frankie Tartaglia, we've been friends since high school for creative and performing arts in Philadelphia, and we were always friends moving around New York and LA and Philly, and always wanted to work together but hadn't. And then finally, we decided to write this together. We weren't sure we would make it together. We wanted to write it first, and then after we wrote it, we decided who better to direct it than us? So we decided to direct it, and that was ambitious. Both wanted to direct. We're both first-time directors. The
Oh, wow.
overall process took over 5 years between writing and fundraising and casting, and then production was delayed during COVID a few times, and then we finally made it, and then post took longer. Here we are. We've had a
Wow.
world premiere, and then my dear friend Frankie has just passed away. It's really tragic and unfortunate. Miss him dearly. I'm so proud of our work on this, and I'm so grateful that we had the chance to make this and give this piece of art to the world, and that he got to make a film and see it come all the way to see it on a big screen at least once or twice.
Right.
But it's really sad and still pretty raw. So,
Yeah.
um,
I'm so sorry to you and his family if they're watching, and I'm really happy you guys have this tribute to him and show the amazing work that you guys collaborated to make together. So yeah, shout out to
Thank
Frank.
you. So that part's complicated, but ultimately, I know he was so passionate about this film and this story, and we couldn't have done it without each other. I couldn't have done it without him, and he brought so much to it. And so I just need to carry on, and my goal now is to help the work find an audience, and I just am so appreciative of the festivals that are going to screen it, and having people come sit in a seat and enjoy it and hear those laughs for Frankie.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah,
Even though
keep
it's sad,
screening it and making him proud.
yeah.
Absolutely. Can you talk about you 2 writing this? I can't believe it took about 5 years to put this all together. I mean, it's indie films is, that's usually the
Yeah.
case. But
Um,
what was the inspiration for writing it, and how did you guys co-write one script?
um, so I had written a few things, years back. I wrote a play that was successful, and I'd written some stuff, but I was kind of struggling to just sit down and write. I'm busy. It's hard to write. Every writer knows that. Um, so I wanted to write, and I always wanted to write something like this with Frankie. And then he was just in a good place where he was really writing a lot. And I was like, Frank, I want you to help me I want to write together because I wanted in on, he didn't hold himself back. He just wrote, and he was writing a lot. So I was like, let's write. And so he helped me, get over the writer's block and get motivated and do it. And I came to him with a concept about, let's explore modern day, sort of like the sons of the Sopranos. Like, what's the next generation up to now? And we wanted to do something realistic. So it's not really a mob movie. It's in the mafia world. It's mafia-esque, but it's really a realistic, authentic tale about a group of guys. They're Italian American. They hang out at a bar, but they're not really involved in organized crime. They are who they are. And some of them have an entitlement due to, their father, was involved, and just exploring what that looked like. And Frank just was prolific. He brought so much to the table and just helped bang out the first draft right away. And then it was real. Then we had characters, we had an arc, we had plots, we had scenes. And then from there, it was just fun. We were just, Frank liked to call it a ping pong table, just going back and forth at the desk, just bouncing off each other. And so the writing development was a blast. And he was more of the, like, wide net, and then I would come in and help pan for gold. And so I was more the editor. He was just like, just spitting out, all sorts of stuff. And no, not yet. Genius. So I just helped identify like the best parts and bring it out to each other. And so that was fun. And then everything changed once we were like, all right, let's go to the next level and produce this. And we just put the producer hats on and indie film, it's an uphill battle and a lot of challenges, a lot of setbacks, but everything that happened, we just overcame, problem solved, and had a great team. Obviously we didn't do it ourselves. We had wonderful producers and cast and cinematographers and editors all, really rose to the occasion to help make this real. So
wow,
it's
amazing. And you guys said that you originally wrote it for 2019, and then the pandemic happened. So did any of it change after the pandemic, like the script, or was it pretty much the same?
We continued it evolved some. There are changes, but they didn't really change based on that. We decided we wanted to keep it there. It's a Christmas film. It's a holiday film. We have New Year's is a part of it. The Mummers are a part of it. Some of you will know what that is. Some people will not know what the Mummers are.
One who does not.
So we wanted to put the Mummers in a movie, and that's over 100 years on New Year's Day in Philadelphia. There's these mummers that do a parade and they get dressed up, and it's really unique. And someone should do a documentary on the mummers. But we have mummers in there. So it needed to be Christmas. It needed to be New Year's. So we shot it in December of 2020. So we were going to go a year earlier. Mm-hmm. And then we pushed throughout COVID or whatever. And there was an opportunity to maybe go in March of 2020. That was like the ultimate shutdown. But it was always meant to be Christmas. And I wanted authentic life. We were low budget. And, yes, you can get production design to go run around and throw up Christmas lights. But I knew that if we did it in December, I could pick any street in Philadelphia and I would get the Christmas decorations. And so it was meant to be. It's a Christmas film. And really glad that worked out. Right. We did it in nowadays. So.
And you mentioned authenticity right now, and I really want to talk to you about the authenticity I saw, just the realness and how raw it was. Did you guys do that? Was that because of the actors? Did they improv? Was it the directing? It was just like so real. I was watching life happen. So I want to talk to you about directing this and how you guys achieved that.
All of the above. I mean, it was a priority for Frank and I. It was a big priority that it was going to be authentic. Whatever we did, no matter how it came out, that was going to be there. So in the writing, it's there. And then in the casting, it was there. We tried to get a lot of local Philadelphia cast. And then in the directing, anything that didn't feel right, we are Philadelphians. Frank and I grew up in Philadelphia. So it was very important that it was real and true. And not contrived. And even with the genre, like playing with the mafia thing, I mean, we didn't want to go out of bounds and step in waters we weren't familiar with. So we kept it true to what we knew, and we made it what we thought would be real and authentic. And that was a priority in the direction. So with the performances, with the cast, there were lots of rehearsals and meetings and developmental character work that was done, where that was drilled from me to them. And we picked an amazing cast that was already that, but they embodied that, they embraced that, but they got that direction from us. and every little choice, you know, we were just conscious of that. It's in our DNA. I mean,
You could tell.
yeah.
And the cast, I mean, like round of applause for all of them. It's a big cast. You have a lot of people in this film, and everyone is so talented, amazing chemistry. I saw one person I know on there, Danny Donnelly, amazing
Mhm.
actor. So how did you find this cast? Have you worked with any of them before?
Yeah, so some were a little bit of everything. We started working with Brandon Brooks, a good friend and a producer on the film now. He was the casting director. So he brought in Danny. He brought in Peter Patrikios and Lauren Lavera and a whole bunch of cast that he knew as a casting director that were local and amazing. Mark Weber is a friend of ours that went to high school with Frank and I, and he's a really talented actor. And then casting, you know, the people that we didn't know, we had auditions and we had readings and we had table reads and we had lots of that, and we just had to find people that felt right. So it was a little bit of everything. And there's a handful of folks that I knew that I brought, and then a handful of folks that Frank knew that he vouched for that I didn't know at all, and he said this person's perfect, and you know, we just trusted each other, and everybody worked out. The cast is phenomenal.
They
And that,
absolutely agree. And I can't believe that you both, this is your first directorial debut and it's a
yes,
feature film and
yes.
two people directing it. It doesn't sound easy. So how did you guys accomplish that? Like, what was the directing process like?
Um, it was hard, and there are challenges. The co-directing thing, sometimes there's a reason why it's not common, and you have a singular vision, a director that has the final say on things. So that was hard. Sometimes Frank and I had our creative differences, but for the most part, you know, we were committed to this experiment of seeing where the final product would fall as a 50-50 in the middle, my sensibilities and his sensibilities. He brought more of the comedic and the visual arts, and I brought more of the serious and the dramatic arts. And you know, my background is theater acting, and he's been in a band and a painter, and he's, you know, so he's produced reality TV shows. So we both have very different resumes. I had produced some independent films and had been working with Mark Webber and others, and so I had experience producing films, but I hadn't directed yet. So we just brought what we had to the table, and for all of the like moments where it was difficult to co-direct, there was so much of a benefit where we could split up or tag team or just like lean on each other when, you know, I would get jammed up on a decision like I don't know, Frank, what do you think, you know, and then he knew what he knew, but then he'd come to me like, Tim, I don't know this part, what do you think? And so we kind of even in the writing and in the pre-production, we had a division of labor where we were both going to be involved in everything, but Frank wanted to be more of the visual, so like set design, props, wardrobe, art department, even camera work, visual stuff, the cinematography, lenses, lighting. Frank was more 51% on the visual, and with me being a theater actor myself, like I really wanted to be in charge of performances. And that's not to say Frank didn't direct actors too. We both did everything, but I was, I guess, the 51%. It was more, but it was a relief. Like I didn't have to worry about the set. I knew Frank had it covered, and Frank didn't have to worry about performances. He knew I wasn't going to let anybody be bad, you know. So like we had each other's back in these departments, and it was a division of labor, and it made us first timers. You know, we leaned into the upside of that. Like let's co-direct,
Mhm.
and I'll just focus on strengths, and he got to focus on strengths, and we brought our strengths together.
Absolutely. Sounds like such a great collaboration. It's just an extra set of eyes on everything. And you guys, obviously, it worked out well because the film is phenomenal, like you said. I love that. So, I have about like 2 more minutes of this interview, unfortunately, but I really want to talk about things that you've learned that you will take on the next project. And for other artists and directors who are watching this, maybe they can get some tips from you, what you've learned directing with someone else, a feature film.
Yeah, I mean, I learned so much. We could probably write a book. And there were some things that I already knew that just I further cemented. And one thing is the team. Like all the producers, from Mark Weber's a producer, Brandon Brooks, who I mentioned, Peter Palullo, and Mike Brillstein. So everybody that helped. You know, the team is so important. The cinematographer, the editors, the cast. Like you need to have the right team that believes in it, and they're not just there for a job or a gig. So every single person from top to bottom, the PAs, makeup and hair to wardrobe, everybody, you know, it was low budget. So you could have, go down a commercial if you wanted to. So we weren't really there for that. Like everybody really cared and stayed the long hours and put in the work and stayed dedicated. Nobody phoned it in or did a halfway job. So having that team that's a supportive team that believes in it is everything, because it's not easy and it's not fun and it doesn't pay that well. So if you're there for another reason or the wrong reasons, it's not going to work well. So you need a supportive team that truly believes in the project and is committed to it. And we had that. So that's important, but that's cemented. That was an intention going in, but that's a big lesson that I would say. So another first time filmmaker is make sure like you pick a team that has good energy and positive attitudes and that are proactive problem solvers. You don't want naysayers that are just saying what you can't do. You want people helping you solve, like, okay, what's the next, if either how can we do it? If we can't, what else can we do instead that works, and find those happy accidents. And then the other thing is time, is get yourself as much time as you can. You don't want to be rushed on set. So like if you're picking a schedule and it's the difference between 15 days or 20 days, like find a way to have that extra day or those extra hours. Like a stunt day, like don't jam yourself up with a hard scene and a stunt in the same day. Like give yourself the time so you're not rushed, especially if you're a first timer, you need that extra time.
Tim, amazing advice. I know I'm taking mental notes, and I just thank you so much for all of your words, for you guys, for you and the entire crew and the team that is amazing making Not For Nothing. Congratulations to you all. Let me tell everyone how they can see Not For Nothing. It will be screening Saturday, March 25th at the Jersey Shore Arts Center, 8:30 to 10:45 p.m. That's the film block, Saturday night. Oh my gosh, my lighting is crazy right now, but you can still hear me, guys. If you want to get some tickets, check out www.gsff.org. You can get tickets for just the screening. You can get day passes, but if you want to get everything, including the Filmmakers Night, the Friday night gala, all of the screenings, all of the panels, some amazing events, definitely get the Parkway Pass for just $95. So check out gsff.org. Tim, will you be at the festival?
I will be there, and a lot of cast and crew are coming. So yes, I will be there. Looking forward to meeting folks and talking with people. And a good amount of cast and crew will definitely be there as well.
Oh, amazing. I can't wait to meet you in person and to meet the rest of the crew. Thanks again for joining us today, and
Thank you
congratulations.
so much. Really looking forward to it.
Me too. We'll see you at the festival. Bye.
Thanks.